Raider Nation, my name is Mitchell Renz. Y'all are watching the Raiders Report, and all the questions that you're about to see on today's mailbag are from our loyal subscribers from our Thursday night live show. If you didn't know, we go live every single Thursday, and if you're looking for free content around the silver and black, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you did not know, I'm going to be going live 1 hour early before the Raiders Monday night game. I'm also going to be live for Eagles, Chiefs to see if Patrick Mahomes can lose 3 games in a row for the first time in his career. Today's show is sponsored by Panda Supps, and if you use code JUSTWINBABY, you're going to be able to save 25% at pandasupps.com. Let's go to my man Rich Wolf here for the first question on today's mailbag. I know it's early to tell, but y'all opinion, who do you think are the locks to get re-signed after the rookie contracts? Right now, Bowers is a lock, JPJ, Genty, etc. Oh, man, there's a lot of guys that you could throw in here. I hope that Bowers and JPJ are the obvious answers here. I'll confidently say that I think Dante Thornton Jr. is trending in the right direction. I will confidently say that Ashton Jeanty is going to be somebody that this organization does bring back, because why would you draft a running back at 6 if you really didn't want to bring him back? Oh, boy, Darian Porter's a question mark to me. We'll see what Dylan Parham's able to do this upcoming season. I mean, we just have so many young faces. And let's just face it, that's the truth. So many young faces from so many different regimes out there. I think you just got to hope that a lot of these young players end up getting that next contract. But Bowers and JPJ, I think, have to be the biggest lock. Let's go to Santa Rosa Raiders. And, Rich, I know there's just a lot of names, man. There is talk about replacing Cooper. Geno has plenty to throw to. Shouldn't we look at needs on the line or at cornerback? See, if you're the Raiders, you're probably feeling pretty good at corner after the first game that you had, and I think the elements might have played into that one a little bit, but it shouldn't surprise Raider fans that they are trying to replace Amari Cooper, because they went out and got Amari for a reason. They offered him the money that they did. To me, the name that I'll throw out is Robert Woods. I know Tyler Boyd has been a name that's been thrown around there before. Do I think that offensive line is a bigger need than wide receiver? Yeah. Absolutely. Do I think cornerback and safety are still positions that we should target? Yeah, absolutely. Like, to me, I look at how well Kyle Blue Kelly's been playing, and if we could go out and get a Stephon Gilmore, you put Gilmore on the outside, you also leave Eric Stokes on the outside, and then you put Kyle Blue Kelly in this slot, a position that he's been able to show that he's had success in the past. To me, do you have more confidence in Kyle Blue Kelly at nickel corner over Darnay Holmes? I would imagine everybody on the planet says yes to that. So if you're saying yes to that, well, let's go change that, because to me, Darnay Holmes just can't be on the field anymore. Let's go to Raider_Cali. What's going on with Brock Bowers, and will he find the end zone? I mean, if he's out there, you always got to hope that he's going to end up hitting the end zone. Now, for me, I had a source reach out. I know I've said this probably 100 times this entire week. Had a source reach out to me on Sunday during the Raiders-Patriots game, and they told me that Brock wanted to go back in the game, the weather conditions, the fuel conditions. I know he did not practice on Thursday. And reminder, that's when I am filming this show. I am under the impression, based on the information that has been shared to me, Brock Bowers will be out there Monday Night Football against the Chargers. He might be on a pitch count. He might not be 100% healthy, but I do think one of the reasons why I'm very high this week on somebody like Michael Mayer, why I'm very high on somebody this week like Jakobi Meyers, is because they no doubt will be a big part of that game plan in case Bowers, for whatever reason, is unable to go. But I do anticipate Brock Bowers being able to play in this game. So what I want to know from you, one of our sponsors is PrizePicks. Not today, but if you watch this show, you'll know that I talk about PrizePicks all the time. His more or less right now is 63.5 receiving yards. So more or less for Brock Bowers, 63.5 receiving yards against the Chargers. My answer coming up here in just a moment. Even if Brock isn't 100% healthy, he played 3 quarters last week, and he still leads all tight ends in receiving yards. I don't care if he's 80%. I don't care if he's 70%. That's still a top 5 tight end in the National Football League in my book. If Brock is out there, I am going to go the more. If more reports come out that he's not 100% healthy and they might slow it down with him, I will go with the less than. As it stands right now, though, I expect him to play. For that reason, give me the more. Let's go to the next one. Coming in here from Tough Bandit. Will Genty have a better year than Josh Jacobs? The only reason why I'll say Jacobs probably has the better statistical year is because I do think that the Packers have a better defense than the Las Vegas Raiders. So because of that, Green Bay is going to be in more position to run the rock. I will also say that Green Bay's offensive line is better than the Las Vegas Raiders' offensive line. Do I think Ashton Jeanty is more talented than Josh Jacobs? Yes, I do. I also know that Jacobs has trends where he has a really good year, then he falls off. Has a really good year, falls off. It's been like that his entire career. But if I had to say, betting my house on it, I'll probably go with Josh Jacobs. Ends up having the better statistical season over Ashton Jeanty. If you're a real one and you bleed silver and black and you want that Raiders content every single day, you're like, Mitch, I want to hang out with you on Thursday night. Mitch, I want to hang out with you on a Raiders game day. I want to hang out with you Monday, Tuesday when you go live. Hit that subscribe button. Nobody's going to keep you up to date more than us right now. Also, I want to give a shout out to our Noti gang. Husker Raider, cool name, RJ Van, Raiders 14 and Sin. These were the first 5 people to comment on the video that I dropped on September 10th. So if you haven't already, hit that sub button. Make sure you also hit that notification bell. Click all. That way, every time I drop a video, you're right there in the comment section. Let's go to my man all the way from Deutschland. Do you think our O-line is better against the Chargers? I freaking hope so, Steven. I think all of us are kind of hoping that it is. The only reason why I do think it will be better is because I spoke to some of the players, and they told me just how bad the field was and how bad just the weather conditions were, where, people thought that you benefited a little bit more once you got your momentum going, and it was really hard to anchor in. But, the Chargers' defensive line is better than the Patriots' defensive line in my book. You got to hope that the O-line is better, because if it's not, there'll be some really frustrated Raiders fans. That I'm going to tell you right now. We got more questions coming up here in just a moment. If you haven't already gotten started with our sponsor, Panda Supps, I hope that you do. It is owned and operated by a diehard Raider fan. They usually do 20% off, but again, dude's a real one. Because the Raiders got to win, he said, hey, let's do code JUSTWIN, baby, for 25% off at pandasupps.com. I was also given this QR code. If you like good deals, I'll just say you should scan it. That's all I'm going to say. If you're looking for some products that I personally love, then you got the premium protein. I love the recovery BCAAs. My wife loves the Thermogenics, which is the fat burner. If you need help sleeping, which I actually need to refill, so Panda Supps, if you're listening to this, I could use some extra sleep aid, because for me, when I get home after a Raiders game, I am just so wired. I'm so amped up that it's hard for me to go to sleep right away. If you also have trouble falling asleep, the sleep aid is unbelievable. Some of their best sellers, which is, again, a lot of their protein, a lot of their pre-workout. I personally don't feel like I need pre-workout. Now, there's some mornings when I get up, like this morning, I'll be honest, took a scoop of pre-workout this morning, and I had to power through my workout. I got up at 6 a.m., which maybe isn't too early for some people, but after a whole work week, that's early for me. But I wanted to be able to do it so I could spend a little bit more time with Alex, spend a little bit more time with Chuck. All I know is this. I'm trying to be the healthiest I can be and still crush beers on Thursday night. If you got that same mentality, use code JUSTWIN, baby, for 25% off at pandasupps.com. Let's go to my man, John Fallon, the man who hooked us up with the signed Ashton Jeanty helmet. Shout out to you, John. Hey, Mitch, if New England and McDoofus ruin Drake Maye, is he worth trading for this year or next? They're not going to trade him after 1 year. I think we got to be very clear on that. But if Drake Maye hits the open market, I'll say exactly what I did a few years ago about Jordan Love. People trolled me. People laughed at me. But I said a few years ago I would give up a 4th-round pick for Jordan Love, and I remember getting dragged on the streets because people were saying Derek Carr is better than Jordan Love. And at that time I said maybe, but I think Love had higher upside. To me, I love Geno Smith, and I think all Raider fans, you got to love what you see out of Geno. I think Geno is better than Drake Maye, but Geno is 34 years old. Drake Maye was my number 1 rated quarterback coming out of that class. I had it Drake Maye 1, Jaden Daniels number 2, number 3 was Caleb Williams. You don't blame me? Go back, look at the tape. If that were to happen, yeah, I would show interest in Drake Maye, though I don't think it would end up happening. But hey, crazier things have happened. What up, Luis? Do you think Ashton Jeanty can get 100 yards? 100 rushing yards? No, I do not think it's going to happen this week. 100 total yards might be a little bit more likely, and I say that because I believe the Raiders have to, when they watch the tape, and I feel like I say this a lot, and I know a lot of Raider fans feel this way. I was talking with my guy Rundown the other day about this. Shout out to him for inviting me on his show. And I said, isn't it frustrating sometimes as Raider fans when you see something and you're like, oh, it's just so obvious, but yet the coaching staff doesn't see it or they don't do anything about it? That's kind of how I felt with the Genty runs last week, where it was like clearly not going to work. And I wanted them to run through the air, screens, throw the ball to him a little bit more, get him in open space. I think you're going to see that a little bit more in this game. At least I flip and hope so. So 100 total yards, yes. 100 rushing yards, I will go with no. Let's go to LV for life. Is Maxx more motivated this week going up against Alt? I think Maxx is motivated every week, personally. I did say the other day that I was told by a very good source that Maxx is carrying a little bit of an extra chip on his shoulder because he heard a lot of people chirping last year. He heard a lot of people say Joe Alt was his daddy. Well, guess what? Maxx is going to be bringing it. Maxx brings it every game. But I do think when you show up on Monday Night Football in front of your home crowd, 86% Raider fans, it's going to be black the F out. If that doesn't give you chills, like I'm thinking about it right now running out of the tunnel. I don't know if y'all can see my goosebumps. I know this. I would be fired up. And I know this guy's going to be fired up as well. I think 1 sack at minimum. What up, John? Again, shout out to you, brother, for hooking us up with the awesome Ashton Jeanty helmet. And if you all do not know, if I don't get to your questions, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, at Mitchell Renz 365. Deutschland, who is our next Raider for life, Bowers or Genty? Maybe both of them. If I actually had to pick, this might upset some people, I'll pick Brock Bowers. And I'll pick Brock because, to me, Bowers, without a doubt in my mind, is the best tight end in the NFL. And I think when you have a tight end that can play receiver and do all the different things that he's able to do for you, he's probably going to be the best tight end in the NFL for the next 10 years. With Genty, you're hoping that he can be the best running back in the NFL, but the longevity of a tight end compared to a running back, it's very, very different. So Genty could probably have a bigger impact in the short term, but I'll go with Brock Bowers. Let's go to Luis Rod. What up, dude? Do you think New England or the Chargers has the better secondary, and what's a matchup you're keeping a close eye on? I actually think if Christian Gonzalez is 100% healthy, it's the Patriots, but because he didn't play, let's go with the Chargers. My number one matchup that I really, really want to take a look at, and I'm trying to remember the player's name. He's the cornerback from the Chargers, Still. Tarheeb Still, I believe, is the name. He is somebody who runs a 4.5-ish 40-yard dash. He's like 6'1". If I'm the Raiders, I'm trying to put Trey Tucker in motion to see if I can get him on him, but I really want to get Dante Thornton on him, because if you get Dante Thornton at 6'5", who runs a 4.3, up against a slower corner and Still that just can't run long strides with him, take a few deep shots early. I think it also, what that does is that forces Still to back off a little bit, and then if you're the Raiders, you run to that side. So that's a matchup that I like a lot. On Prize Picks, if y'all want one, I know Dante Thornton, I believe his more for yards on a single receptions, like 19.5. I would hammer the more on that one. Let's go to Christian Tate. Which Chargers player are you the most worried about on offense, not named Herbert? I'll go with a guy by the name of Keenan Allen, and I also probably should say Ladd McConkey. Those two guys scare the hell out of me just because, again, of what our secondary is. I know we played well against New England, but rainy game, crappy conditions, Josh McDaniels. The reason why I'll say Keenan, though, is because Keenan Allen had led the team in targets with 10, had 7 catches. 6 out of those 7 catches resulted in either a first down or a touchdown. I know he's old, but Justin Herbert's binky, Justin Herbert's blanket, if you will, has been Keenan Allen for so long, and I think that that's the guy that he just relies on in those really big situations. So for the Raiders, you take away Justin Herbert's binky and his blanket, and he kind of looks like that little baby back you-know-what that we're used to seeing. So which Chargers offensive player does the Las Vegas Raiders need to focus on the most? And I think we should say besides Justin Herbert. Some people are going to say Omari and Hampton. Some people are going to say Ladd McConkey. I'm going to go with Keenan Allen as my answer. Let's go to Jaquin. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I know I didn't. This Sunday is my birthday. Joaquin. Yep, I'll get better someday, guys. Can I get a shout-out, please? That would be sick. I'll be there at the game on Monday. Can't wait. Let's go, Raiders. Hey, Joaquin, happy birthday to you, brother. I love when people share this type of information with me because that means you're happy and you're excited, In today's day and age, man, with everything going on in the world, I want nothing but smiles here. I want nothing but good vibes. And messages like this always make me know that we're doing the right things here on the Raiders Report. Let's go to J&D Auto Collects. So when we get in a Jakobi extension, I don't know if we're going to get one. I think at this point, Jakobi has kind of said what he has said. I think the Raiders have kind of said what they're going to say. To me, I think you're going to start hearing about this a little bit closer to the NFL trade deadline because deadlines make deals. And if the Raiders are serious about keeping them, we'll see where exactly we are at that point because we got a Week 8 bye, got a tough beginning of the schedule. I believe the NFL trade deadline is going to be somewhere around Week 10, Week 9. So we'll see where we're at. If we don't plan on keeping them, maybe the Raiders end up trading them. But if it was up to me, no matter what, I wouldn't trade him. And then, you get the option to bring him back next offseason. And if he ends up signing somewhere else, you still have the opportunity to get that comp pick, whether it's a third or fourth rounder. I will be live Monday Night Football. I hope that all of y'all tune in. I hope that y'all are ready to rock and roll because it's going to be a freaking party. And I hope it looks a lot like the last time. My favorite Raiders game of all time, my two favorite Raiders games are the Derek Carr timeout, 35-32 to send those losers home. And we went to the playoffs. My other favorite game maybe of all time is the 63-21. And anytime we can whoop up on Herbert, anytime we can whoop up on the Bolts, whatever you want to call them, I feel good about it. We are also going to be live this week. Eagles, Chiefs, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Raiders, Chargers, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And then live Tuesday on the Raiders Report, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure those notices are on. And if you're watching this live on Thursday, get ready to party.